The question that we got from our client today is related to disbursements, and I wanted to have the question and go through the whole notion how to do it in uLaw. The client was released on cash bail. The client's mother sent money for a cash bail via email transfer. The lawyer says that he deposited the money into trust account. Then he withdrew the money from the cash bail from general account, very nice, in the cash with the bank teller, and then he paid the bank. Now he wants to transfer the money and pay himself. How does he want to record this in uLaw? Let's go through this one by one. Let's go through the first one. The client was released on a cash bail. The mother sent the money by e-transfer. I deposit into trust account. How do you do this in uLaw? To do that, I'm going to go into the uLaw screen. Let's create a contact. Okay, so I'm going to create a new contact. So let's just create a new client by clicking here. Let's say his name is Henry McAllister. And so first thing, you'll create obviously a matter. You'll say save and create a matter, so it'll go into the matter screen. You need to make sure that you create the matter and you assign proper area of practice and stuff like that. So let's go through that notion. So there you go. It is now taking me to Henry McAllister's matter. So let me create the matter. Let's say this one is a criminal matter, like possession drugs, and let's mark it as a criminal matter. So I have criminal, there it is, and I'll hit the save button. So all I've done now is I've created a matter for Henry McAllister, and I basically I'm ready to accept retainer. Now his mom, Henry's mom, because he might be under the age of 18, a minor, so has given me money to be deposited retained. So I'll go here, I'll say action. It's not a new retainer because Henry didn't give it, so you can say other payment deposit in trust, and she did an email transfer. So let's go with an email transfer. Let's say she gave me $1,000, and that happened a couple of days ago. We can put the reference number, and you can say mom paid retainer, and we can say her name could be Lisa McAllister, and I'm going to now apply that. So now what we have is we created the matter and we have recorded the payment from the mom as other payment deposit. Now if Henry had paid himself, I would have recorded it as new retainer, but now I'll record it as other payment deposit. Okay, now let's go back and say, hey, we've completed this line item, right? Like then I withdrew money required for the cash bill from my general account in cash for the bank teller. Excellent. So let's go ahead and do that. So go back to the matter, add new disbursements, paid from general, just paid from general, and we can say bail fee or something like that. I'm just going to make it like $100. Let me even make it tax exempt for them, so it's easy. So that's what we're going to charge the client, right? We put that, and then let's say we put $100 here as well, right? Tax exempted. Was it paid for the client? Was it an expense? Yes, it was an expense. Then we will say how did I pay it? Let's say I paid using my general card, and I can say I went to direct debit, right? That's all, because I went to the teller and I picked it up, and I can hit the save button. So that's what I did. So basically I recorded it as a disbursement because I paid it from my general account. So I used add new disbursements and paid from here. Now we have recorded it. So clearly here it tells me that $100 is a disbursement and it can be taken from trust account. So let's go back now to this. Then I deposited the money in the court. That's basically what we did. We taken the money and you've done all the stuff. Now I want to pay myself. How do I do that? Let's go back. Okay, now I'm just going to make up, like, let's say the initial client meeting, right? Yours is a flat rate of $300, right? And I'm just going to put that there. Let's say you met Henry's mom, and you decided, that you're going to charge, and that's your flat rate. Now you have two things to bill here. There's a flat rate of $339 and a 100 rate. So if you just raise a pre-bill, right, what you're now going to see is it's going to combine both. It's going to combine the fact that there's an initial client meeting, and this, and it's going to tell you like, hey, there's $100 retainer and you can transfer, $449. But that's not what you want. You only want to get paid for that $100 alone. You want to bill this later. In that case, what you do is you say, just going to do the pre-bill again, but rather than dockets and disbursements, you can only do disbursements, right? And let me do a quick preview. If I do that, you will see now this invoice is a little different. There's no legal fee. There's only a bail fee of $100 of disbursements, and it tells you like, hey, there's $900 going to be in trust because you're going to do that trust transfer. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do a complete invoice of only the disbursement, right? Let me erase the invoice and download the invoice. Now this is the invoice that I'm going to send to Henry's mom. Now notice that we can also do some more stuff, right? Like for example, let's say this invoice was actually sent to Henry McLister, but you don't want that. You want it to go to Lisa McLister. So you can actually go to contact and add a new contact, right? Like, and that one could be some friend or some other contact. I'm just going to make this now like an attention contract, right? So I can say Lisa McLister, and she is in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, K2K, I don't know, I'm just making up 5D6. So let's say that's Lisa's contact. What we can do is in the matter, now we can add her as an additional party, so that way invoices go to Lisa and not to Henry, because Henry is a minor, he cannot get invoices. So we want all the invoices to go to Lisa. So we go back to the matter and we go to additional parties, add Lisa. So let me just add Lisa here, and you can add her as an attention. I mean, you can also add her as a parent, but attention is better because that way she gets that. So you can say Lisa McLister is the attention and hit the save button. I'm just going to now reprint that invoice, right? Because I want to make sure that it now has the proper headings. Okay. Now you'll see that Henry McLister, attention Lisa McLister, and it goes to Lisa. Now what we can do is let's come back to the request. He says, I want to transfer the money that I received from the client and pay myself. How do I record this in uLaw? The last step is hitting on the question mark. When you hit the question mark, it says, hey, you need to do a trust transfer. So there you go. So just click on the transfer button. It allows you to transfer at $100 only, right? Because that's the only disbursements that you paid from general. So you can just click on it and choose it, and then you can basically go through the notion of transferring it from trust to general. So let me go ahead and let me just click on the question mark, hit the transfer button, choose it. There's your $100, and I can choose which trust account. I know it was the CIBC, that's where I put the money, and then from my general account, this is where I want to receive the money. Then I can do an electronic fund transfer. Now obviously I need an ETA acquisition number. I can just put my acquisition number, hit my transfer. So I've transferred the money from trust to general, paid myself. If you're from Ontario, obviously you need to download Form 9A, and you can download Form 9A, and here you go, you're done with it. Your $100 got transferred from your trust to general. Let's quickly do a trust statement, and then that'll be very, very, very clear. So if you click on statements and do a trust and general statement here, you will see the entire history of this matter. $1,000 was received from mom, right? Then we did a disbursement for $100, raised an invoice, that's the invoice. Then we transferred 100, so there's 900 left in trust, and 100 made it to general, so we got paid for the fee that we paid. So there's no balance over here. Okay, so just to run by the whole thing, we created a matter, criminal matter, we added Lisa as the attention, we went to matters, created some dockets if necessary. The most important was we added the disbursement here. As you see here, we indicated here that we received the money from Lisa, right? Like that's all very clear here. And then we put this as a general disbursement, right? Like top is what is getting invoiced, bottom is what I paid in the bank. I told that it was a direct debit from the teller. And then I hit on the question mark, right? Like right now there's nothing, but then it showed me that I could do a pending trust transfer, and I clicked on it and completed my pending trust transfer. Hopefully this answers the question of a life cycle of a disbursement of something like this. Most disbursements are like that, like you receive money in trust and then you keep doing a disbursement. All you need to remember is you need to raise an invoice so that you can get paid.